Hello everyone. Once again, I welcome back to the video lecture on first part of the second module, that is testing and parallel operation of transformers. In last video, you were discussed the parallel operation of transformer. So what are the necessity conditions for parallel operation of transformers, and what are the conditions for the parallel operation of a transformer, both single phase transformer and three phase transformers. And also you just proved some conditions by considering two transformers are connected in parallel. So in this video, let us discuss the two cases of parallel operation of transformer. So first case is what? The parallel operation of transformers with equal voltage ratios. That means, so if we use the transformers, it should have the what? Equal voltage ratios. So both the transformers voltage ratio should be what? Equal. Under this case, what might be the what? Load sharing. So that we are going to discuss now. So next second case is what? The parallel operation of transformers with unequal voltage ratios. So if we consider two transformers voltage ratios are what? Unequal. So in that case, what might be the load sharing by the transformers which are connected in parallel. So these two cases we'll discuss in this video. Now here let us consider. So this is a circuit diagram. It represents parallel operation of transformers. So two transformers are connected parallelly. So here uh, both the transformer primary it is connected to the what? The common supply. So since I just shown what, here single winding is shown. So here two windings are shown. So one winding is the what? Secondary winding of what? The transformer 1, and this is the what? Secondary winding of what? Transformer 2. And with respect to these winding, the reactance and resistances are what? Shown. So this is what? R1 and X1 be the what? The resistance and reactances of the secondary winding of transformer 1, and R2 and X2 be the what? Resistance and reactance of the secondary winding of transformer 2. So in general, combination of these two we can represent as a what? The impedance, that is Z1. So here also the combination of these two we can represent the impedance as a what? Z2. So obviously the current which is flowing through the water, the secondary winding of a transformer 1 is what? I1. Similarly, the secondary winding of transformer 2 is what? It is I2 current. Now, both secondary windings of a transformers are connected to the water, the common load. So obviously the voltage drop across this load will be what? It is represented as what? V2. Then whatever be the current which is flowing through the load, so that is what? The combination of what? These two current, that is I1 plus I1. Then here what should be the load sharing of these two transformers, that will discuss now. That is what is the magnitude of I1 and what is the magnitude of I2. So that will discuss now. So the two transformers having no load, so the secondary voltages are what? Same. If these transformers are under no load condition, so load is not at all applied, in that case the secondary voltages are what? Same here, that is E1 is equals to E2 is equals to what? E. So then again we consider the proportion, uh, that is circuit diagram. So this is what? The this equivalent circuit diagram, so you can represent here. So that is E is equals to E1 is equals to E2. So these are the what? The induced EMF of the uh, both the secondary winding of a transformer. So these EMFs are what? Equal under no load condition. So next, these two are what connected parallelly. Obviously, that means so this circuit diagram can be what rewritten like this. Now the two impedances, that is Z1 and Z2, are connected in parallel since the value of equivalent impedance is given by, so that is 1 divided by Z equivalent is equals to 1 divided by Z1 plus 1 divided by Z2. Then, so this can be rewritten as Z equivalent is equals to Z1 Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So this is what in general equation. So this already you know. So if both resistances are connected parallelly, in that case the equivalent value of the resistance, how you can represent like this. The impedances are connected parallelly. What is the equivalent value of the impedance? That is Z equivalent is equals to Z1 Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Next, just draw the phasor diagram under this case. What is the phasor diagram? So here I just consider, this phasor diagram is also familiar with you. At a no load condition, you know the phasor diagram of the transformer. So this is similar as that of what? That phasor diagram. So here both the transformer phasor diagram has been drawn here. So now here I just consider the secondary voltage, that is V2 as a what reference phasor here, that is V2 as considered as a reference phasor. With respect to V2, I suppose to what write what the no load current, that is I2. Obviously there will be a small current flows under no load condition. So since its magnitude will be what it is smaller. So obviously the inductive load or the our winding is what inductive we'll consider. So in this case the current it lacks the voltage. So since I drawn this phasor water below the water V2 phasor, then since I2 current it lacks the water V2 voltage. Now here I suppose to draw the both the voltage drop. Both voltage drop means what? Voltage drop across what? The resistive component, and voltage drop across what? The reactive component. The voltage drop across the resistive component is what? This is I1 into R1. Only I am talking with the what? Transformer 1. Transformer 1 phasor diagram I supposed to draw here. So voltage drop across the what? The resistance R1 is what? I1 into R1. The pure resistive circuit. In pure resistive circuit, so this voltage, so see, in pure resistive circuit, so that is voltage drop, voltage is in phase with the what? The current. So here what current is here? This is the I1 current, not I2 current. See, this is I1 current, not a I2 current. So since you used to draw the I1 current first, here you can draw the I1 current here. Again, I1 current can be drawn same way. You can draw I1 current here. So I1 current drawn can be you can draw here. Again, this will lacks the V2 voltage. So since I just draw the water I1 current below the water V2 phasor. Then resultant of these two will be what? Your net current. So how you can draw these two resultant? So just to draw what is this magnitude, the line here. So again you can draw what is this magnitude from here. Both will meet at a point. So join this point with the what origin. So this becomes what? Your net current. Now here with respect to I1 phasor, I supposed to draw the what? Voltage drop, that is I1 R1. This is the pure resistive circuit. Voltage is are in phase with what? The current. So since I just to draw here, instead of this line I used to draw what? The parallel line of what? I1. I draw here I1 into R1. Now next, the voltage drop across the reactive component. Voltage drop across the reactive component is what? This is I1 into X1. So here you can draw I1 into X1 phasor. So again, so this voltage it leads the I1 current at exactly 90 degree. This is a pure inductive. So since you can draw from 90 degree with this current I1, instead of drawing here, I just draw from here only. So this is what I1 into X1 phasor. Then what is the total voltage So drop, so total voltage drop will be what, from here to here. So this is nothing but what, I1 into Z1. So this is what, for the transformer A. And what is the induced EMF? That is E1. So E1 induced EMF is what? It is the origin to what, from this line. So this is the what phasor diagram of what, transformer A. Similarly, you can draw the what phasor diagram of what, transformer B, or you can notation will got here transformer 1 and transformer 2. So again here also phasor voltage V2 is common reference phasor. Now here also you used to draw what, the both the voltage drop across what, the resistive component, and voltage drop across what, the reactive component. Again this is what, with respect to I2 phasor I supposed to draw. With respect to I2 phasor I supposed to draw means what, so this is what, in parallel with what, I2 line. Again, so this is I2 into X2, this is an inductive. So this voltage it leads the I2 current at 90 degree. Again I used to draw from here to what, 90 degree. So then the net voltage will be what, it is I2 into Z2. So this is from origin to what, this point. Since here I1 Z1 is equals to I2 Z2. Now, so this is the phasor diagram, as seen from the phasor diagram. From the phasor diagram, I supposed to represent what, I1 Z1. This I1 Z1 is equals to I2 Z2 is equals to I into Z. Now here from this equation, I supposed to write down what, I1. Here I1 Z1 is equals to, I consider I Z equivalent. Here I can write I1 is equals to I Z equivalent divided by Z1. That is equals to I, the value of Z equivalent. What is the Z equivalent value? This is what, this is Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2 into what, the Z2. This just in previous slide, just define this Z equivalent. Substitute this value, Z equivalent value. Here Z1 get cancelled. So in that case, Z1 divided by Z1 plus Z2, what I think. So you just Z1 get cancelled, and this becomes what, I Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Similarly, you can represent what, I2. I2 Z2 is equals to I Z equivalent. You can take I2 is equals to I Z equivalent divided by Z2. So this becomes again Z equivalent. You just substitute the value of Z equivalent, that is I Z1 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Now here also just multiply both the terms of above equation by voltage V2, because so I just consider this in terms of what, the volt ampere, because our transformer rating can define in terms of what, volt ampere. If you multiply these two I1 and I2 equation, that is V2, so just multiply here V2, and here also we just multiplied what, V2. So this becomes V2 I1 is equals to V2 I into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2, and this becomes multiply here also V2 and V2. V2 into I2 is equals to V2 I Z1 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Now, the combination of these two, this is what in terms of what, volt ampere or kVA. So obviously this is what, reactive power. So since I can represent what, so here Q1 from this kVA carried by each transformer is calculated here. Q1 is equals to, so this is again what, this is what current, this is what in general power, that is reactive power, this is Q, that is net power into Z2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So this can be rewritten as Q into, so Z2, just bring this Z2 into what, the denominator side. So then this becomes 1 divided by 1 plus Z1 divided by Z2. Similarly, Q2 is equals to Q Z1 divided by Z1 plus Z2, that is equals to Q. Again bring this Z1 into what, denominator, 1 divided by 1 plus Z2 divided by Z1. Now this is the what, load sharing by the two transformer. That is I1 with the what, load sharing by the transformer 1, I2 with the load sharing by the what, transformer 2. What is the magnitude here? You cannot get the what, the circulating current here. The circulating current will be what, absent if you consider the what, equal voltage ratios. Now just go for what, the parallel operation of transformer with unequal voltage ratios. So in case of unequal voltage ratio, here same circuit representation here I can consider. That is, let us consider the two transformers are connected in parallel having the unequal voltage ratios. So here equal voltage ratios means what? E1 and E2 are not equal. Here you can assume that the voltage ratio of transformer 1 is slightly more than the voltage ratio of the transformer 2. If voltage ratio of transformer 1 is slightly more than the voltage ratio of transformer 2, in this case the E1 is somehow it is greater than E2. If E1 is greater than E2, what is the resultant terminal voltage? The resultant terminal voltage will be written as difference between these two, that is E1 minus E2, which will cause a circulating current here under no load condition. Now what is the circulating current here? You know the circulating current, so it has some effect on the water, the performance of the transformer. What are the effects we just discussed in the water, the previous video? Obviously water, it increases the water copper loss, isn't it? So it has some effect, so entire performance will decreased by the water, the circulating current. So we need to avoid this circulating current. But in case of the unequal voltage ratio, if both the transformer has unequal voltage ratio, here we will get the circulating current. So the magnitude of the circulating current is represented as E1 minus E2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So this is what the circulating current. Now we will discuss what is the load sharing between the both the transformer. Now again here you can consider the from the circuit diagram, just write down the the induced EMF of transformer 1 and induced EMF of auto transformer 2 by applying KVL, Kirchhoff's voltage law. So now here this E1 is equals to what? The voltage drop across the water, the load V2 plus voltage drop across the water, so this impedance Z1. So voltage drop across V2 is what? You can represent V2 plus voltage drop across this is what? I1 into Z1. Similarly, E2 we can represent as what? So this is the what combination of what voltage drop across the load and voltage drop across the water, the impedance Z2. So this you can represent E2 is equals to V2 plus I2 Z2. Then what is the load current? So here load current can be represented as the combination of what? These two current, that is the current secondary current of transformer 1 and secondary current of what? Transformer 2, that is I1 plus I2. Now here, so we just substitute, so this IL is equals to I1 plus I2. So you can substitute, so this where you can substitute in this equation. So you know in general V2 you can represent, V2 here how you can represent in general V2? So V2 is equals to IL into ZL. So the current flowing through the load is IL and its impedance is what? ZL. So this is what IL into ZL. You can represent IL is what? I1 plus I2 into ZL. Now here just substitute this V2 value in these two equations, that is E1 and E2. Then you can represent E1 is equals to, here in place of V2 you can substitute I1 plus I2 into ZL. So this is I1 plus I2 into ZL plus I1 Z1. Call this as equation number A. And here in place of V2 again you can substitute I1 plus I2 into ZL. So here you can substitute V2 as I1 plus I2 into ZL plus you just write this I2 Z2 as it is. Call this as equation number B. Now subtracting equation A and B, we have, so this is E1 minus E2 we'll consider here. If E1 minus E2 will consider, what happens? So this I1 plus I2 into ZL, this I1 plus I2 into ZL get cancelled, then this becomes I1 Z1 minus I2 Z2. So from this equation, just remove what? I1. From here you just remove I1. I1 is equals to E1 minus E2 plus I2 Z2 divided by Z1. Now substituting this value in equation number B, you can substitute this value in equation number B. In place of I1, you can substitute this value, that is E1 minus E2 in plus I2 Z2 divided by Z1. Then E2 it becomes, E2 is equals to, you just write this I2 Z2 as it is, plus E1 minus E2 plus I2 Z2 divided by Z1 plus I2 into ZL. So this is what E2. Now from this E2, you just write down the what the I2 current. How you can write down the I2 current? So I2 current can be written as, because here at both side you will get I2 as a common. Just remove I2 outside. If you remove I2 outside, then you will, the equation becomes E2Z1 plus minus E1 minus E2ZL divided by Z1 Z2 plus ZL into Z1 plus Z2. So this is what the I2 current. Now what about the I1 current? Now similarly you can write I1 is equals to E1 Z2 plus E1 minus E2 ZL divided by Z1 Z2 plus ZL into bracket Z1 plus Z2. Now you add the above equations, that is I1 plus I2. In last slide you represented the I2 and this here you have I1. Add these two currents, that is I1 plus I2, it gives E1 Z2 plus E2 Z1 divided by Z1 Z2 plus ZL into bracket Z1 plus Z2. But you know IL is equals to I1 plus I2 and V2 is equals to IL ZL. Now substitute in place of I1 plus I2, you can substitute IL. So just substitute it here, and also dividing both numerator and denominator of equation C by Z1, Z2. Here, so both numerator and denominator you can divide Z1, Z2. If you divide here Z1, Z2, this equation becomes E1 Z2 divided by Z1 Z2, Z2 Z2 get cancelled, that is E1 divided by Z1 plus E2 Z1 divided by Z1 Z2, Z1 Z1 get cancelled, E2 divided by Z2, it's divided by Z1 Z2 divided by Z1 Z2 will get cancelled, 1 plus, so here also ZL into bracket Z1 plus Z2 divided by Z1 Z2. Now this can be written as E1 Z1 divided plus E2 divided by Z2, its whole divided by. So here you just consider the term-wise division here. So that is ZL Z1 divided by Z1. So Z1 Z1 get cancelled. This becomes ZL divided by Z1. Similarly ZL Z2 divided by Z1 Z2. So here Z2 Z2 gets cancelled. Z1 Z2 divided ZL divided by Z2. So then you know V2 is equals to IL into ZL. So that is V2 is equals to IL into ZL. So in place of IL, just represent this equation, that is E1 divided by Z1 plus E2 divided by Z2 divided by 1 plus ZL divided by Z2 plus ZL divided by Z1. Now just to simplify this equation, so that is, so how you will simplify this equation here, just uh, take down that is term-wise division. So you just how you can represent this one, that is E1 divided by Z1 plus E2 divided by Z2. So what you will do here, so just take down ZL, you can just multiply ZL here. So multiply ZL here. So if you multiply ZL here, you will get 1 divided by ZL plus 1 by Z2 plus 1 by Z1. So now if impedance Z1, Z2 are small in comparison with load impedance ZL, then product Z1, Z2 may be neglected, so we get. So you know the impedance magnitude Z1, Z2 are very small as compared with the what load impedance ZL. So in this case, the product Z1, Z2, it may be what neglected, because the product Z1, Z2 will be out, again it is a very smaller value, so this value will be neglected. So then you will get the load shared by the each transformer, that is I1 is equals to E1 Z2 divided by ZL into bracket Z1 plus Z2 plus E1 minus E2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. Then similarly, just you can get I2 is equals to E2 Z1 divided by ZL into bracket Z1 plus Z2 minus E1 minus E2 divided by Z1 plus Z2. So these two are the what the transformers current, so which shares load individually. So this is I1 is the what? So this is the current, this is the load shared by the transformer 1. I2 be the what? This is the load shared by the transformer 2. So again this is what? The combination of both. So that is circulating current. So this is the what? Circulating current component, and this is the what? The actual load shared by the what? The transformer 1. Similarly here also this is the what? The circulating current component, and this is the what? The actual load shared by the what? Transformer 2. So this we already what discussed in what the earlier slide, that is the circulating current. Now this is about the parallel operation of a transformer when the unequal voltage ratios are considered. Next video will come up with some more bits of the second module. Till then, thank you.